Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Press Club with me, Kendall Burton, and my co-host, Mr. Earl Boske, where we look at the big stories making the news every week and, of course, the major headlines in the newspapers of the day. Let's start with the Star newspaper. The DPP turns tables on Stanley Felix, make a new planned stand, and Old Labour boys rebel. That's ahead of the SLP's convention and anniversary celebrations this weekend. UWP peels SLP's fourth report card, the St. Lucia Mirror newspaper, a reference to a series of press conferences held by the Opposition United Workers' Party throughout this week, well, at least the first 3 days of the week, to review the government's performance so far. The Nationwide newspaper, the official government paper, Commonwealth heads mix with Majesty in Malta, and the Voice newspaper. SLP says much to celebrate. Ruling party goes to the View Fort for 65th anniversary celebrations. Where you want to start, Mr. Boske?
Well, from the beginning.
The DPP?
DPP,
yeah, I guess that was the hottest story this week,
report, yeah.
The impacts issue is not going to go away anytime soon. The reference in the Star's headline to comments made by Stanley Felix during a political meeting on the market steps by the St. Lucia Labour Party, in which he challenged the Director of Public Prosecutions, Victoria Charles Clark, to act on, well, I think it was in his case referring to the Town and Village Council report that has mushroomed into the impacts issue. That's what the focus has been on. And I guess because of the DPP's response to Stanley Felix's challenge, she called a press conference later that week. He made the challenge on a Tuesday evening, I believe it was. She held a press conference on Thursday, in which she made a number of revelations that I think have given rise to more questions than answers.
On Wednesday.
Yeah, I forgot that part. Yeah, but do you think Stanley Felix was justified in his comments?
Well, I think at the end of the day, everybody ought to thank Stanley Felix for saying what he said.
If any broke the
we
silence?
might have a problem with how he said it and where he said it, which is not much ado about nothing, because at the end of the day, that comment extracted from the DPP statements that people and interested parties were begging her for a whole period of 8 months. She had zipped her lips. She was completely silent on it, didn't respond to any of the calls, not even Mary Francis as a lawyer for some of the families of some of the victims involved here. In October, called on her to say something, alleging that the cause of justice was being delayed, and you know, so that at the end of the day, I mean, the question as to whether Stanley Felix should have said so in cabinet or on the market steps, I mean, that's just splitting hairs. The guy is a senator, he's a minister, he is a politician. At the end of the day, he's also a lawyer. He can be quoted in all of the above respects. If we talk about the need to keep the public informed, and we talk about the need for transparency and openness, why should we want to say where somebody should address the public? A public meeting directly addressing the public is the most direct form of addressing the public. I don't even think going through calling talk shows is any less in terms of addressing the public. So whether Stanley Felix had said what he said through a cabinet statement, through a statement as a minister, through a statement as an attorney, as a lawyer, or through a statement as a politician of the market steps, is splitting hairs, like I said, because what he is saying is that he didn't say anything about impacts. But as a result of what he said, all the information came out about impact. So why blame him? You know, we need to thank him.
But there's a question of timing too, not just in his statement, which has been...
The DPP's response, the timing of the DPP's response, like I said, she had zipped her lips for 8 months. And within less than 24 hours after she was told that Stanley Felix had attacked her on the impacts report, she issued statements on a private radio station. That was where she posted her response to the government, to Mary Francis, to Stanley Felix, and to the country by calling a private radio station, to which the minister responds by going to a government radio station. So
you're referring to the Home Affairs Minister? The
Home Affairs Minister, yeah. So that the question of where, I think we're splitting hairs here. We're trying to kill the messenger rather than dealing with the message. Stanley Felix called on the DPP to say something about the management report. She either misunderstood or decided that she would not be responding on the management report but more on the impacts report, and she let her heart out. And at the end of the day, St. Lucia knows that this DPP, this impacts report is going nowhere under this DPP. What she didn't say, and everybody knows now, is that she's going on retirement. So we have to start looking beyond this DPP and not trying to, as is suggested in the Star this weekend, to use the DPP's response to the impacts report to consider the report dead, to consider it a waste of time, to consider that it cannot go to court. If the DPP is saying that the report is not what will take the matter to court because it doesn't contain the evidence, so all she had to do was ask for the evidence. And the minister of
why did she have to ask for the evidence in the first instance? Because that bothered me. That's one thing that stuck out in my mind. Because of the
nature of the report.
Yeah, but this is the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecutions, who has been handed a report with the intent, as the Prime Minister said in his March address, with the intent of having her pursue it, look at it, examine it, to find out whether it could be
had she done that? Had she done that when it was given to her?
And she explained why she could not.
Why she couldn't? Because she was busy. She has a whole bunch of lawyers in the. It means that she doesn't trust any of the people in her department. She doesn't trust any of the other lawyers in the department. The people who assist her in reducing the backlog, their attorneys. Couldn't she have given them the report? Because the report is just a report. If she says it has nothing, you know, she could have given it to them and said, at the end of the day, we cannot say that because the DPP is independent and she has that independence, that she could decide when she is going to address a report that has to deal with issues of national security.
Yeah, and exactly, and with that, on that score, I agree with the Home Affairs Minister. The matter of prioritizing. Yes, you're busy, but this is a major national issue. Not to suggest that the other cases she's dealing with are less significant. They are
all absolutely, every single case is absolutely.
But looking at the ramifications of this particular case, you would expect that more priority would have been given to it. And if there were issues that were came up.
And that's what we need to look at, not whether the circumstances under which she was forced to reveal her position were right or wrong.
But I don't even know that she was forced.
No, well,
she could have chosen to continue along the path that she had.
She did choose, and she has exercised her own deliberate, independent judgment throughout this thing. She got a report 8 months ago. She took 6 months to open it, then decided to look at it while she's on leave, then remains quiet about it, but finds a reason to unzip her mouth in less than 24 hours after Senator Felix speaks, calls a press conference, explains in detail all of the things she could have said within a month after receiving the report if she had prioritized it and given it the priority which the Commissioner of Police, the President of the Police Welfare Association, the Minister of Home Affairs, the attorney for the some of the families of the victims, and the general public. Everybody wanted to hear something about the impacts report. And the only thing that in our full view, the only thing that made us, the public, find out about the report was a statement by a minister on a political platform, which she took umbrage to, saying, you know, he should have known better, and bram. It sounded like a, you know, I've said so before, not that she did, but it sounded, you know, this thing they tell you about a woman scorned, you know, the response of a woman scorned, or the fear of a woman. You don't put a woman on your wrong side. I mean, you look at the front page of the Star, plays into that. DPP turns tables on Stanley Felix. Make a new plan, Stan. You know, it's like it's a battle between Stanley Felix and the DPP. That's not what it's about. This is a national security issue which the DPP sat on.
But are we focusing too much on the DPP in this case? Because if it
I have moved on. I've said
No,
I'm thinking of the next DPP.
And we have suggested that, well, I'm not talking about Victoria Charles Clarke in this case. I'm talking about the post of DPP. In this case, the Prime Minister would have seen the report. If I'm to believe what the Home Affairs Minister says, there's a small circle that has had access. And in that group, I am assuming there are lawyers who would have known exactly what the DPP said, that it is a lot of conjecture, a lot of opinion. There are no statements or hard evidence that follows the established evidentiary procedures according to St. Lucian law. So would they not have known what she said?
We have to be careful trying to interpret how law works, what ought to be, because every lawyer, as you know, you can argue a case either as a defense or as a prosecution. Lawyers are that skilled. The laws are there to be read and interpreted according to the lawyers. My understanding, my interpretation, my layman's interpretation of what happened here when we listened to what the DPP said and what the Minister of Home Affairs responded, and we put everything into context, and we recall what the Prime Minister said on the 8th of March about the contents of the report, and I mean the way in which we responded to it. This, like we said, was no ordinary report. The report, in my understanding, was given to the DPP. Says, hello, we had an investigation. These are the conclusions of the investigation. And here is the report with all the conclusions. Take a look at it. See whether there are cases to be answered. And if you decide that there are cases to be answered, I have given you 3 lawyers, 3 extra Crown Council lawyers to deal with that case. That was what the Prime Minister
I'm with you so
said.
far, yeah. I agree.
And then it's handed over. The DPP says she got the report the night before the Prime Minister spoke. So because she got it on the 7th. The Prime Minister spoke on the 8th. The next time, by her own account, the only other time she opened that report was 6 months later, in September. So the report, which is so much of a national security issue that the Prime Minister decides to address the nation on it, is handed over to you with an offer of 3 extra lawyers and say, deal with this as a matter of urgency. And the government did, because the report has 2 sets of recommendations, one relating to the police, the other relating to the executive and what the government can do. The government did what it was asked to do, which is to re-examine the leadership, to appoint more persons in the leadership, to begin to exercise certain things. So the government started doing what it had to do, but like I remember, and like you would remember, the Prime Minister said he can't touch the impacts report recommendations insofar as investigation of the allegations. In that context, I don't think there is anybody who is not surprised that the DPP took 6 months to even touch it, because in her view, she did not have the time. And by interpretation of what she said, she's the only person in her office who can do it. And lo and behold, when she does it and opens it, she's on leave. So she has to wait until her leave is over to come back. I would have been interested to hear what she did between returning from leave and the time when Senator Felix said what he said. It would appear that nothing was done either, except that she said she had informed the AG and the Minister of Home Affairs, but didn't say when.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with the Star newspaper report and the hot story in the news this week. The DPP turns the tables on Stanley Felix. We'll be right back.